let's start with when people have that high cortisol, right?
Yep.
So downstream, you said that influences DHEA, so
Yep.
it rises DHEA. So what happens then?
So DHEA will rise acutely, right, to
Mm-hmm.
try to counterbalance the effects of cortisol.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same hormone that drives cortisol drives DHEA, so that makes sense. DHEA is a precursor to mineralocorticoids like eticalanolone and androsterone,
Mm-hmm.
as well as a precursor to testosterone and estrogen through the androstenedione pathway for all of those, um, which initially helps, kind of mitigate the ill effects of cortisol. Cortisol is very catabolic, testosterone is very anabolic. So if one goes up, it helps at least keep a dog in the fight if the other one goes up with it. But that does not sustain very long at all. Generally, we'll start to see DHEA will start to drop out even before cortisol does. Right. And as DHEA drops out, now there's a lot of arguments. There used to be the big theory of the pregnenolone steal that you were diverting more pregnenolone to progesterone to synthesize cortisol rather than DHEA. We know that that percentage probably is like not a totally accurate picture of what's actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
But
Which is
DHEA,
still under a ton of research.
yeah,
Like, there's not that much known about it still.
right, as far as what's happening, which, theoretically does make sense, right?
Which
But
we're just seeing the downstream effect. We're seeing the effects after long term.
right. So, that's what we see initially, right? Then we
Mhm.
start to see DHEA actually drop out on people.
Mhm.
DHEA is not a gigantic source of testosterone for men. It can be 5 to 30%, but it is a chunk of it. It is a bigger chunk for women.
More specifically, women in menopause.
Right. Once the ovaries fail, it's the only source of testosterone.
Correct.
Right. Yeah. So testosterone, some of it's ovarian source, some of it's just made in peripheral tissue, and then a lot of it's synthesized from androstenedione from DHEA. If the ovarian piece fails, right, and then the adrenals go to the toilet, testosterone's like abysmal.
There's no hormones anywhere.
Which is why we may see a female patient postmenopause whose total testosterone's 20 or 30, right? And another patient where it's undetectable. The difference almost always lies in their DHEA values.
Absolutely.
We start to see a problem there as far as testosterone taking a nosedive. And then estrogen can drop as well because androstenedione, which I keep referencing from DHEA, also will aromatize to estrone.
Mm.
Estrone, via the 17 beta HSD enzyme, can turn into estradiol, which then can turn into estriol a little bit. Not a ton,
Yeah.
but you do get some other estrogen conversion there. So if the adrenals are bad after menopause, your hormones go from something to nothing quickly.